Chapter 22, Section 3 talks about some solutions to some environmental concerns that we have. And there's two new fields of biology that are out that are focused on these solutions. One is conservation biology, which is where these scientists would go and try to protect and manage areas that have large biodiversity. They have typically identified them as biodiversity hotspots. There's about 25 of them currently. I believe you have a picture in your book of these on a map where these locations are. And they're basically regions that are richest in unique species and therefore most in need of protection. So they focus on places with large biodiversity to try to keep those sustained and going, as opposed to singling out somewhere that doesn't necessarily have a lot of different types of life that are growing there. And then a bioindicator is something that is used a lot in this field. That is a species that's sensitive to ecological change. The picture here is the dwarf wedge mussel. And it actually is harmed by very, very tiny amounts of water pollution. So if people start to notice that there's an issue with these dwarf wedge mussels, then they know that there's early signs of water pollution, and hopefully something can be done to fix that before it affects other organisms as well. And then restoration biology is where scientists plan ways to reverse changes and replace missing ecosystem components. So you can see this field here, maybe places that have been over-farmed, or just really any place that has been damaged severely and needs to kind of be rebuilt. Some of these solutions are international issues, and some of them are more local kind of issues. There are some international regulations regarding different environmental solutions, but not a whole lot. It's hard to get everyone in the world to agree on the same things. There was the treaty back in 1992 that banned CFCs to help to try to prevent the thinning of the ozone layer. But there hasn't been a whole lot of other international regulations. So some other things that have been more recent in coming up with are something called the Debt for Nature swap, which is where richer countries or organizations agree to pay other countries' debts if the developing country takes preventative steps for maintaining their environment. The second thing here is called ecotourism, and this is relatively new as well. This is where people basically try to get tourists to come to their area, and it helps to support conservation while bringing economic benefits to the locals. So you're bringing in these tourists that are going to spend money, staying in hotels and buying food and souvenirs and things like that, and hopefully inform them some about the area and what they can do to kind of help conserve those locations. And then the last thing here is another new branch of biology called urban ecology, and that is the study of biodiversity in areas that are densely populated by humans. So, since the human population is growing so much, being able to study what kind of organisms can live in areas with a very large population of humans could be very informative for our future.